In the previous video, we has been discussed about the conventions to represent the galvanic cell, the rules regarding to represent the galvanic cell. We know that at left hand side oxidation is takes place and on right hand side reduction is takes place. The LHS electrode is called as anode and RHS electrode is called as a cathode. The best example is the Daniell cell. You can see here the Daniell cell. So where oxidation is takes place at the left hand side electrode and reduction is takes place at the right hand side electrode. Now how to write the cell reaction of the galvanic cell? Cell reaction of the galvanic cell. So we know that oxidation takes place at the anode, at the left hand side electrode, and reduction takes place at the right hand side electrode. So the cell reaction is obtained by adding the reduction reaction at the positive electrode or by subtracting the reduction reaction of the negative electrode, or the cell reaction can be written by the addition of the two reactions which are takes place onto the left hand side and right hand side of the electrode. So let us take the example to explain this. So how to write the cell reactions from a cell, from a galvanic cell? So in this case, some examples of the galvanic cells are given. So first galvanic cell, it is zinc cadmium cell, where two electrodes are used. One is the zinc electrode and other is the cadmium electrode. So zinc electrode, it is represented onto the left hand side, and cadmium electrode, it is represented onto the right hand side. So zinc metal, it is in contact with zinc dipositive ion, aqueous solution of zinc dipositive ion, and other electrode is the cadmium electrode, where cadmium metal, it is in contact with cadmium dipositive ion. So what electrode reactions are takes place at these two electrodes? So according to the electrochemical convention, we know that at the zinc electrode oxidation is takes place. So you can see here, we can represent here the cell. Zinc in contact with zinc dipositive ion, aqueous solution, and cadmium in contact with cadmium ion, aqueous solution. So what is the cell reaction of this galvanic cell? So at LHE, left hand side electrode, we have to write the half cell reaction of this first. And according to the electrochemical convention, oxidation is takes place onto the LHS electrode. So zinc metal get oxidizes. Two zinc dipositive ion and two electrons are released. So this is the oxidation reaction. onto the right hand side electrode. Now as the electrons are released onto the left hand side, you can see here, we can represent here. Electrons are released at the left hand side. So that electrons are coming from left hand side to the right hand side. And that electrons are added into the cadmium dipositive ion. So charge of the cadmium dipositive ion is minimized. Electrons are added here and there is a formation of cadmium metal, and this reaction is called as reduction reaction. Thus oxidation takes place onto the LHS side and reduction takes place onto the RHS side. So addition of these two half cell reaction, it is the net cell reaction of this galvanic cell. Net cell reaction of this galvanic cell. So let us write down net cell reaction. Electrons get cancelled here. So zinc metal reacts with cadmium dipositive ions. Cadmium dipositive ions. And onto the RHS side, zinc dipositive ion, it is formed, and cadmium metal, it is also formed. The product of the reaction, it is Zn2 plus ion and cadmium metal. So this is the net cell reaction. So in this way, we can write the net cell reaction of the particular galvanic cell. Consider another example. Okay, example 2 now here. This is example 1. Now the example 2 we have to consider here. So I would like to write here the another cell. Copper in contact with copper 2 plus ion, aqueous solution, and silver in contact with silver ion, aqueous solution of silver ion. In this case, copper electrode, it is represented now onto the LHS side, and silver electrode, it is represented onto the RHS side. According to the electrochemical convention, we note that the electrode who has lower reduction potential should be written onto the left hand side, and the electrode which have higher reduction potential should be right onto the right hand side. The reduction potential of the silver electrode, it is around 0.799 volt, and the reduction potential of the copper electrode, it is around 0.337 volt. So copper electrode is having the lower reduction potential, hence it is represented onto the left hand side, and silver electrode, it is onto the right hand side. So let us write the cell reaction of this galvanic cell. Galvanic cell is the combination of the two half cell, the two different electrodes. So at left hand side electrode, left hand side, so oxidation is there. So copper get oxidizes here. So copper giving copper 2 plus ion, and 2 electrons are released here. This is oxidation reaction, loss of electron. And onto the right hand side, reduction takes place here. So at RHE, so 2 electrons are released onto the left hand side, therefore the 2 electrons are added onto the right hand side. 2 electrons are added onto the right hand side. So let us represent this. the two electrons are added onto the right hand side here. So the reaction belongs to the right hand side. We have to add the two electrons. Now for silver ions, only one electron is required for one silver ion. So we have to take here the two silver ions. So two silver ion plus two electrons. So it will give two silver metal. Two silver metals are formed there. Now the net reaction of this addition of the two reactions, electron get cancelled here. So copper reacts with two silver ions. Copper reacts with two silver ions, and there is a formation of copper dipositive ion and two silver metal. Metallic silver is formed onto the right hand side and copper get oxidizes onto the left hand side. So this is the second type of the galvanic cell. So in this way we can write the cell reaction from the galvanic cell. So this cell is also called as a copper silver cell. This is copper electrode, this is silver electrode. Now consider the third cell here, nickel copper cell. Nickel in contact with nickel dipositive ion and copper in contact with copper dipositive ion. So on to the right hand side, we can write the reaction belongs to the right hand side also, that is also correct. So copper 2 plus ion plus 2 electron. On to the right hand side, reduction reaction is takes place, formation of copper metal. On to the left hand side, oxidation is takes place, nickel gives nickel 2 plus ion plus 2 electron. The total cell reaction becomes equal to electron get cancelled here. So nickel reacts with copper 2 plus ion, there is a formation of the nickel 2 plus ion copper metal. So this is the net cell reaction belongs to the nickel copper cell. So in this way we can write the cell reaction for the electrodes. Cell reaction for the galvanic cell. Cell reaction from the galvanic cell. Now the second part it is given here, cell from cell reaction or half cell reaction. How to construct a cell from a cell reaction? In the previous case, here we write the cell reaction from the cell. We write the cell reaction from the galvanic cell. Galvanic cell is given here. And from that galvanic cell, we can write the cell reaction. That is very simple. At LHE, oxidation is takes place. At RHE, reduction is takes place. But now, the second part here, cell from cell reaction or half cell reaction. If the cell reaction is given, we have to construct the cell. Now the example is given here. Given cell reaction, this is the net cell reaction is given. And from this net cell reaction, we have to write the cell. It means this net cell reaction is belongs to which type of the cell? Okay. This net cell reaction is belongs to which type of the cell? So let us take here the another screen to represent this reaction now. Okay. So you can see here. Let us write the cell reaction here. So the cell reaction will be in this way. I would like to write the cell reaction now here. So the cell reaction, it is chlorine gas reacts with two hydrogen ions, aqueous solution, and it will give 2 Cl minus ions and hydrogen gas. So I would like to write the cell from this cell reaction. So first of all, we have to write the separate reaction, means half cell reaction. Actually, this reaction, it is the net cell reaction. So we have to separate this net cell reaction, total cell reaction, into two half cell reaction. See now here, the chlorine gas get oxidizes. The chlorine gas get reduces here. The chlorine gas get reduces here. You have to identify the reaction now. See now, conversion of chlorine gas to chloride ion. How it is possible? Chlorine gas to chloride ion. So we have to write the separate reaction now here. So chlorine gas reacts with two electrons and there is a formation of two chloride ions. Okay. This reaction is called as reduction reaction. And we know that reduction reaction takes place at the right hand side electrode. Now the second reaction, that is oxidation reaction, takes place at the left hand side electrode. So the oxidation reaction we want to write here. So oxidation of what? Oxidation of, let us correct this, oxidation of hydrogen gas to hydrogen ions, make the correction here, 1 minute. The reaction will be like this. Okay, actual reaction is like this. This is the reaction here. Chlorine gas reacts with hydrogen gas, formation of two chloride ions and two hydrogen ions. So we already write the reaction belongs to this. Addition of electron, reduction, formation of the chloride ions. So chlorine gas is converted to chloride ions. Now it is seen that hydrogen gas is converted to hydrogen ions, means it is oxidation. Conversion of hydrogen to hydrogen ions. So let us write that reaction here. Hydrogen gas converted to, or hydrogen gas gives two hydrogen ions and two electrons. And if you are adding these two reactions, we will get this reaction. You can see here, chlorine gas reacts with hydrogen gas and there is a formation of two Cl- ions, two chloride ions and two hydrogen ions. So this is the net reaction, net cell reaction. Now from this net cell reaction, we have to write the cell. This net cell reaction belongs to which type of the cell? So first of all, we have to write the two half cell reactions. Now this half cell reaction belongs to which electrode? Chlorine is a non-metal. So as there is a non-metal, we require the platinum metal. So the electrode can be constructed in this way. Platinum in contact with chlorine gas and it is in contact with chloride ions of aqueous solution. The solution containing the chloride ions, and chlorine gas is passed into the solution of the chloride ions. So this is the right hand side electrode. Now you can say this is hydrogen gas gives hydrogen ions, oxidation reaction, left hand side electrode. This is the left hand side electrode. Now as hydrogen gas is involved here, this is also the gas electrode, hydrogen electrode. So platinum in contact with hydrogen gas and in contact with hydrogen ions, aqueous solution. So in this way we can write the single electrode or half cell. Once we write the single electrodes, then we can combine these two electrodes, the LHS electrode and RHS electrode, as oxidation is takes place onto the left hand side. So this is the electrode belongs to this reaction. So this electrode can be written onto the left hand side. Platinum in contact with hydrogen gas in contact with hydrogen ions, aqueous solution. Now the another electrode, there is a separation between the two electrodes to half cell by the salt bridge. Now this is the another electrode, that is chlorine electrode. So we can write the chlorine electrode in this way. So chlorine gas, it is in contact with chloride ion. So as this is a gas type of the electrode, gas electrode, so platinum can be used here for conduction of the electrons. So this is the cell can be obtained from the net cell reaction. This is the galvanic cell. So this galvanic cell can be obtained from the above net cell reaction. So what we have to do? If the net cell reaction is given there, we have to write the two separate reactions. We have to split this net cell reaction into the two reactions. One it is a reduction and other it is a oxidation. So we have to identify here. The chlorine gas is converted to chloride ions. It means that this is the reduction reaction. If we add the two electrons here, it is converted to chloride ions. And particularly onto the non-metal, electrons can be added. And hydrogen gas has an ability to oxidize. So hydrogen gas gives the two hydrogen ions and two electrons are released here. That is oxidation reaction. And from this half cell reaction, we have to write the particular electrode. As chlorine gas is involved here, it means that it is a chlorine electrode. So chlorine electrode can be represented in this way. Platinum chlorine gas passed into the solution of the chloride ion. Then hydrogen electrode can be represented in this way. Platinum hydrogen gas in contact with hydrogen ions. And we have to combine these two electrodes now. LHS electrode and RHS electrode. And we can separate the two electrolytes by the salt bridge. So this is the representation of the cell from cell reaction. Okay, so it is very important here. From the cell reaction, we have to write the particular type of the galvanic cell. Particular type of the galvanic cell. Now let us see here. Another example is given. The given cell reaction is given here. Another cell reaction is given. Okay, chlorine gas reacts with hydroxyl ions. Okay, hydroxyl ions. Chlorine gas reacts with hydroxyl ions here. Chlorine gas is converted to chloride ions here. Okay, in the same way, previously we have explained conversion of chlorine gas to chloride ions, that is reduction. Conversion of hydroxyl ions to oxygen gas and water molecule. So first of all, let us split this net cell reaction, given cell reaction, into two separate reactions. So first one, it is chlorine gas, Cl2. Chlorine gas combined with two electrons and there is a formation of the two chloride ions, reduction. Oxidation of hydroxyl ions will be takes place here. It will give us half molecule of the oxygen gas, water molecule and two electrons, that is oxidation. So what is this electrode? This is the chlorine electrode. So it can be represented in this way, chlorine electrode. This is the reaction belongs to the chlorine electrode. Platinum chlorine gas in contact with chloride ions, aqueous solution. And this is the oxygen electrode because oxygen gas is formed here. So this is also the gas electrode. So we can write this electrode in this way. Platinum, whenever we are constructing the gas electrode, we have to take the platinum here. So platinum in contact with oxygen gas and the electrolyte, it is containing the hydroxyl ions, OH minus ions, aqueous solution. Okay. So once we write the two electrodes here, let us combine them. Okay, so the left hand side electrode where oxidation is takes place, it is the oxygen electrode, so this is represented here. The right hand side electrode, it is the chlorine electrode, it is represented here where reduction is takes place. Okay, in the above electrode reaction, chlorine accepts the electron, therefore it is a positive electrode, means right side. Hydroxyl ions loses the electron, oxidation of the hydroxyl ions is there, therefore it is a negative electrode to be placed onto the left hand side. Therefore the cell can be represented in this way. Thus in this lecture we has been discussed how to represent the how to write the cell reaction from the given galvanic cell, and from the cell reaction to construct a given galvanic cell. So we know the process how to write the cell reaction from the given galvanic cell, and we also know that how to write a cell, how to construct a cell from the cell reaction. So this is very important here, to construct a galvanic cell or to write the cell reaction of the particular galvanic cell.